Nigeria and South Africa have reaffirmed the strategic bilateral relations between their countries and in the spirit of solidarity committed themselves to working together towards enhancing political, economic and social cooperation for the benefit of their peoples. President Muhammadu Buhari and his South African counterpart, Cyril Ramaphosa, reiterated this stance at a state banquet in honor of the Nigerian leader by the South African government as he rounds off his historic visit to Pretoria. State House correspondent Adam Musambo has details.
The state banquet was put together by President Cyril Ramaphosa to show appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for the renewed friendship between their countries anchored on mutual respect, solidarity and understanding. In the past 2 days, hope for a better future through a shared vision has been rekindled as Nigeria and South Africa recommitted themselves to working as a united front towards confronting numerous challenges of conflict, insecurity, migration, poverty, corruption, and poor governance bedeviling their countries and the continent. And with the abundant human and natural resources at the disposal of Nigeria and South Africa, the two leaders believe that such can be effectively harnessed and developed to put the two countries, and indeed Africa, on the path of peace and prosperity.
We believe that a strong strategic relationship between Nigeria and South Africa can become the engine for the rapid economic, political, social, cultural development of Africa, thereby delivering the Africa we want.
Our countries must continue to participate in promoting peace and security agenda for the continent. In this respect, we require African solutions for African problems.
The solemn event also provided the opportunity for the leaders to reflect on their countries' long-lasting relations forged in a common struggle against colonialism and apartheid.
We in Nigeria are very proud that we stood with the people of Southern Africa in their hour of need. As they say, a friend in need is a friend indeed. We are also very proud that we are today charting an exciting new path towards the Africa we want.
Without Nigeria's support, our freedom would have come at a much greater cost and would have been even delayed more. We will never forget the great debt we owe you, and we will never allow the lawless actions of a few to undermine the bonds of friendship between our two peoples.
With a relationship now full of potential and promise, South Africa and Nigeria see the elevated bi-national commission as an important platform for them to keep on the same page as they move forward as one people with a shared vision and one destiny.
May you and the people of Nigeria have good health as Nigeria addresses all the challenges it has moving towards prosperity.
I would like therefore to seize this opportunity to formally invite you to pay a state visit to Nigeria for a return match, where we as Super Eagles will surely revenge against you, the Bafana Bafana.
Nigeria and the Republic of South Africa are the two largest economies in Africa. From Pretoria, South Africa, Adam Musambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the two countries have resolved to deepen existing strategic relations by working together towards enhancing political, economic and social cooperation in the interest of their peoples. In a joint communique after the inaugural session of the elevated Nigeria-South Africa binational, the countries also promised to jointly pursue sustainable peace and economic development on the continent in the context of AU Agenda 2063 and the Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Again, State House correspondent Adam Musambo tells us more.
The Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission has been in existence for nearly 20 years. For the first time, however, it has been elevated to the level of heads of state in a renewed determination by the two countries to, amongst others, institutionalize their relations, significantly increase and diversify trade, and make conditions conducive for greater investment flows. Speaking at the opening of the inaugural session, President Muhammadu Buhari spoke of the need for the two countries to seek opportunities towards expanding their cooperation in critical economic sectors for the benefit of their peoples.
We are pleased to inform you that our government has made doing business in Nigeria easier through the Ease of Doing Business initiative to open up more opportunities for investors in Nigeria. We call on the government of South Africa to also take steps to ease the doing of business in the country and open up its market space for Nigerian businessmen and women. We are determined on our part to sustain the renewed vigor of the strategic partnership between Nigeria and South Africa, anchored on regular consultation, collaboration, and cooperation.
During the meeting, which continued behind closed doors, progress report was presented on the 32 agreements and memorandum of understanding signed between the two countries over the years. These are in the areas of trade and industry, science and technology, defense, agriculture, energy, transport, and tourism. The two leaders committed themselves to ensuring that those in force are fully implemented and the others yet to be enforced be revived immediately.
We are in the process of further deepening our reforms so that we can make it a lot easier for our economies to be open to businesses. We want to welcome more and more Nigerian businesses to operate in our space. We want South Africa has a number of large corporations that operate in the Nigerian market. In the South African market, many of them are small and medium enterprises. We want to address this imbalance so that we have more and more slightly larger Nigerian companies coming to operate here. And the various incentives that we have as a government will obviously also be available to them.
We agreed on the need for us to strengthen even further our cooperation in areas such as peace building, good governance, and sustainable development in Africa in order to deliver the Africa we want. We have also committed to reinforce our leadership role for peace, security, and development in Africa.
President Ramaphosa in particular used the opportunity to once again express his country's appreciation to Nigeria for the sacrifices made towards freeing South Africa from the shackles of colonialism and imperialism. From Pretoria, South Africa, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now joining us to speak more on issues arising from the president's visit to South Africa is Nigeria's former ambassador to the Republic of Angola, Ambassador Folorunsho Otukoya. You're welcome to Panorama. Thank you for joining us. Now, the visit of the vice of the President Muhammadu Buhari to South Africa is seen first from many quarters as a strategic step towards fostering economic and social cooperation in the African continent. So now, what's your take on this?
Well, first of all, we need to commend Mr. President for his courage and political sagacity. You recall that in the wake of the attacks, the common opinion in Nigeria is that they should cancel the visit. They should not go. He sent an envoy and South Africa sent an envoy, but he still went. Now we are happy that he went because what we are taking from it is a lot of positive developments. That shows you that a good leader does not have to act on the spur of the moment. You need to take all matters into consideration. And secondly, the invitation had been pending before the so-called xenophobic attacks, which I prefer to call Afrophobic because they were attacking fellow Africans. So just foreigners, but African foreigners. So it's more appropriate to call it Afrophobic. That is the fear of Africans. the president has done, and then from what we are seeing, an 18-point communique has been issued to capture the essence of their discussions. One of the takeaways is the elevated binational commission. Hitherto it was meeting of 2 ministers of foreign affairs, but now the presidents are going to be meeting regularly, and a commission has been set up to further discuss issues, and Nigeria will be hosting the first session in April next year. Secondly, they have observed that we have about 32 outstanding agreements, bilateral agreements and MOUs. They committed themselves to strengthening the ones that are operational and revisiting the ones that are dormant, to revive them and perhaps make amendments where it's necessary. So I think it's a welcome development.
Okay. Now, there was an endorsement by both countries, that's Nigeria and South Africa, for the establishment of early warning signs, early warning mechanism to reduce the incidences of Afrophobic, like you call it now, attacks. How is this different from previous efforts? How will this help?
Well, I've been wondering that this early warning system, is it going to be an electronic gadget, or will it be more recruitment of more security personnel, or heightened patrol of areas where foreigners are concentrated, or permanent surveillance of foreign interests, businesses? For example, we all know where ShopRite is, so are we going to deploy more security forces to make sure that nobody attacks them? But I think it will be, at the end of the day, to be a combination of all I've said. Where Nigerians live in South Africa is known by most South Africans. So maybe South Africa, we have to recruit more non-uniformed security personnel who will intermingle with the community and be able to listen when something is brewing and give an early signal to our embassy or our consulate, and vice versa in Nigeria.
Okay. Now, how do you think Nigerians are reacting to these developments?
Well, from what we see so far, I think Nigerians are happy that at least South Africa sent an envoy here who apologized openly, and their president has repeatedly apologized again. So, to most Nigerians, that's the first step. Now, we go to the area of compensation and prevention of further recurrence. So, it's early in the day to know how effective these decisions are going to be, but good enough that we are on the right path.
That's nice to know. Thank you, Ambassador Folorunsho Otukoya, Nigeria, former ambassador to the Republic of Angola. Thank you for speaking to us on Panorama.
Thank you for inviting me.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
You're still watching Panorama on the network service of the NTA. We'll now take a break. More news when we return.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Walking through the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel.
Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
You're welcome back. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has appealed to the Nigerian labor leaders to show more understanding with the government and avoid embarking on any industrial action. The Vice President made the appeal when he met with some leaders of the Trade Union Congress at the closed-door meeting. Leader of the delegation and President of the Trade Union Congress, Quadri Olaleye, says the union is on a courtesy visit to the Vice President and also to discuss issues bordering on the new minimum wage, job creation and security, amongst others.
To show understanding with the governments, but I'm telling you that we are going further to discuss with governments on better ways to achieve this. Because
are you saying that if nothing is done between now and the 16th, you will still go ahead with the strike?
Surely you know Labour will not give an empty threat or an empty ultimatum. If nothing is done, I can tell you, come that day, Labour will still go on strike.
Minister of Labour Dr. Chris Ngige says government will continue to negotiate with the Labour Union in a transparent manner.
And we use everything to pay salaries and wages. That's not it.
Labour has threatened to go on strike.
No, they can't go on strike. They are Nigerians.
Why would they go?
We're opening up negotiation next week, and they will lay our books open for them to see. That is one of the things there. We open our books for them to see. It's government books. They will see it. It's part of negotiation.
The issue of consequential adjustment on minimum wage has been a matter of disagreement between government and the Labour Union, and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is calling for more understanding between parties concerned. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by Ambrose Owuru of the Hope Democratic Party, challenging the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari at the recent presidential election. The 5-man panel of justices led by Justice Mary Odili ruled that the suit was an abuse of court process. Olabode Arewa reports.
The Supreme Court based its judgments on the preliminary objections of Wole Olanipekun, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, counsel to President Muhammadu Buhari, and Ustaz Usman, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, counsel to INEC. They observed that Ambrose Owuru's counsel had filed 2 separate notices of appeal on the presidential election petition court judgment of 22nd August 2019, which dismissed Owuru's petition against the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari. Counsel to Ambrose Owuru, Isaac Udoka, told the Apex Court that what was placed before the court were not 2 notices of appeal, but a single appeal and an addendum, which raised 18 issues for determination. The Apex Court found it curious that Ambrose Owuru's counsel failed to observe Section 4 of the Supreme Court rules on the procedures of filing appeals, and subsequently dismissed Owuru's appeal for being frivolous.
The judgment of the lower court, that is the petition tribunal at the Court of Appeal, has been affirmed.
That's what the court said, and we thank Almighty God. The Supreme Court, that is the last court, has struck it out.
The Apex Court took into cognizance a recent Court of Appeal judgment on the internal disputes within the Hope Democratic Party. No costs were awarded to the respondents by the Apex Courts. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The commitment and capacity of the Nigeria police to redominate the public space and deny criminals the liberty to manifest their crimes has been boosted. Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu, while addressing senior police officers during a conference in Abuja, wants the police force to demonstrate their competence by bringing crime to the barest minimum within a short period of time. Francis Form has more.
August 2019 to date, a total of 1,151 high-profile criminal suspects have been arrested across the Federation. This includes 470 armed robbery suspects, 216 kidnap suspects, 335 suspected cultists, and 130 murder suspects. The police also recovered 228 firearms of various description and caliber, while 221 kidnapped victims were safely rescued and reunited with their families. This, Inspector General of Police says, the tempo must be sustained.
The Nigerian police under this management will not only continually employ strategies that are potent enough to deal with the emerging trends of crime, we are determined to attain this mandate within the dictates of rule of law, uncompromising respect for human rights, and best global policing practices. I encourage you all not to relent, but to roll out your sleeves and renew vigors in the fight against crime in the country.
On the Kogi and Bayelsa governorship elections, Mohammed Adamu assures of the police determination to work with the Independent National Electoral Commission in creating conducive and enabling environments that will guarantee the peaceful conduct of the elections.
And politics is a game, and it should be driven by service orientation, patriotism, and overriding national security interests. All political actors and stakeholders are accordingly admonished to play the political game in accordance with the law and democratic norms.
The Inspector General of Police also launched the review of the Force Order 237. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is to review humanitarian engagements in the Northeast. This follows a recent suspension of the activities of 2 international non-governmental organizations in the region by the Theater Command of Operation Lafia Dole, citing sabotage of military counter-insurgency operations. Ruth Agwele has details.
Desperate times, they say, require desperate measures. And so in building capacity for rapid response and mitigation of humanitarian crises in the country, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is taking strategic measures to fill up loopholes by streamlining all humanitarian engagements in the Northeast region.
We have reviewed concerns both locally and internationally on the recent concerns by the suspension by the military of the activities of these 2 NGOs in the Northeast. This suspension, which is temporary, is to enable the government to carry out a review with the view to delivering better services to the IDPs.
The minister also affirmed the commitment of the ministry to verify the allegations through ongoing investigations for peaceful resolution. Before then, the ministry continues to engage different stakeholders to enhance coordination and collaboration to meet impending challenges and build stronger humanitarian assistance for Nigeria. The American Embassy and EU delegates were among those the minister met.
We wanted to learn more about what the new ministry is doing because we have a lot of investment in humanitarian operations in Nigeria, and so this is a natural partner. We wanted to meet the new minister and find out what her priorities were.
And we have, of course, offered our help to support the coordination role that she will have in taking forward the assistance, making sure that it reaches all those Nigerians in need.
The minister's focus is to expand the scope through recovery and development of the Northeast for an effective humanitarian intervention. In Abuja, Ruth Agwele, NTA News.
Sports is next with Ayodeji Makinde.
Osun Babes and Dream Stars Ladies Football Clubs retain their slots in the Nigeria Women's Premier Football League after victories in the promotion and relegation playoffs tournament midweek in Abuja. Osun Babes defeated the Duna Queens 4-3 on penalties after a 1-1 draw, while Dream Stars Ladies beat Invincible Angels 4-2 on penalties as regulation time scoreline stood